Hello, community. I wanted to talk to you about a new project that I have embarked upon, which is developing my homestead. My homestead slash micro farm. I know what you're thinking. You're not even done with the food truck yet. No, I'm not done with the food truck, but I'm almost there. The food truck is about 90, I'm going to give it probably 97% complete. We're putting the final touches on it. We're hanging up signs, hanging up soap dispensers. I finished the wrap. I do need to get the front of the food truck painted, and then I'm going to be going to get my permit. So that's almost done. But I'm going to be retiring in about a little less than 6.5 years. So I wanted to get started on creating my retirement slash weekend getaway place slash micro farm. So my mother's father in 1977, in the 1970s, purchased 2 acres of land with the intent of building a home. Well, he got sick, and so my mother's father had to come live with my mother and my father, and so that idea was scrapped. So once he passed, he had 6 heirs, one being my mother. So the agreement that the siblings had amongst each other was that we'll give the land to our brother. He was the only brother. We'll give the land to him so long as he pays the taxes. No paperwork was ever done. So they gave the land over to the brother. The brother retired and already had inherited land from another sister. So, unbeknownst to anyone and without telling any of his siblings, he just decided to stop paying the taxes on the property. The county was going to take the property, and some kind of way they mailed out a letter advising they found my mother some kind of way, or found someone connected to my mother, and said that they were going to seize the property due to unpaid taxes. Now, the killing thing about all this is the taxes on the property is not that much because the property is undeveloped. I mean, I was looking at the tax payments once my father and mother started paying the taxes. The taxes on the property was about $50, $60 a year. So he was going to let the land go to the county for about $50, $60 a year. That's what the taxes were. So he didn't tell my mother, he didn't tell anybody that he was just gonna, stop paying the taxes on this property. Anyway, the county sent a letter to my mother. Actually, it sent the letter to my mother's sister, half sister. And no, let me retract. Sent the letter to one of my mother's cousins, who then took the letter to my mother's half sister. Half sister got in touch with my mother saying that the county is going to seize the property due to back taxes. So my mother and father decided that they were going to catch up the taxes on the property, which then the taxes were about $1,000. So if taxes were $50 a year, and now the amount due has increased to about $1,000, that means he went a long time without paying the taxes on the property. So my dad paid up the back taxes. My mother had conversations with all her siblings. All of the siblings said, they as long as you pay the taxes, you can have it. We're not going to be paying taxes on property that we're not going to live on, develop, whatever. They couldn't sell it because the property was still in my grandfather's name, which is still in his name today. And you have to go to probate to get all of that stuff sorted out. And so that's what brought me to want to talk to you all about this subject today. If you have family members, elderly people, if you have family members, elderly people in your family, and you are their heir, you want just to sit down with them and talk to them and get an understanding about any assets that they may have. A lot of times, some elderly people may not view property as an asset, a old dilapidated home as an asset, but it's still an asset because even though the home may be dilapidated, it's sitting on land, and the land is valuable. So when I found out about this property that my mom had, that's when I began the process of trying to get the business aspect of it in order. She told me the story about, what everybody said, but I already knew that you needed documentation and that you needed paperwork. Now, nobody had been checking on this land in about 15 years. And so in Texas, I'm not sure where you all are from, but in Texas, people can legally um, acquire your land through means of adverse possession. When we went out to the land, we did see that somebody had put up a fence. There was a fence around the property, or fencing, not the whole property, but somebody had put up a fence like in the front of the property. Now, I didn't go all back up in the woods and all of that with the surveyors and with my nephew, but he did say that there was fencing throughout the property. And you have to be careful about that thing in Texas because people will put up a fence on your land. They'll see nobody has, been checking on it, coming to check on it, put up a fence, and then they'll try to claim ownership of it. So the first thing we did when I met the surveyors out there, because we had no idea. We had a general location of where the land was, but everything is like wooded. So I wanted to know, where are the borders of this land? Where does our land begin? Where does it end? So I had to pay. And that survey was $1,800. So I had to pay because I didn't just want to come out there and just start tearing down stuff and tearing down fencing and all of that and not have a clear idea of where this land was. My mama, the neighborhood or whatever had changed, so she couldn't tell us where it was. We took her down there the year prior, and she couldn't really tell us because things had really changed in those 15 years. And this is not land that she grew up on. So I want to urge you all, if you have family members or whatever, go ahead and get that paperwork in order. Get that general warranty deed in order. Go on and have them sign it over to you while they're still alive. That way you don't have to try to go to probate or anything like that. And see, the agreement that my mother had with her siblings, now because they have passed away, now we have to go to their heirs and ask if you're going to honor this agreement. Y'all let me know in the comments that if there was an elder in the family telling you what the agreement was between them and their siblings, would you want to keep your interest in the land, or would you honor what that elder is telling you, that the agreement that they had with their brothers and sisters? Now, you have to keep in mind that this was during a time where a handshake, people just went on their word. And so there was no trying, oh, we're going to sign this, we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, which that would have made it so much easier for everybody. But you let me know in the comments section what you will do. Would you honor what the elder person is saying in the family? Or would you say, hey, that was the deal that my parent had with you. That's not a deal that I had with you. Let me know in the comment section. So I am excited about this. I'm excited because I want to grow food. Everything I do is surrounded around food. If it's cooking food or if it's growing food. But I urge everybody to, if your parents, grandparents, whatever have property, get this stuff together now while they are alive. Because if you don't, you're going to have to deal with their heirs, and their heirs, they have their own mindset on how this thing should go. So this is not a really big property, but it's enough property for, to do something with. I'm going to put me a little small house on the property, give me a prefab home. I'm not building no houses. I done already went through the 30-year mortgage. I'm not doing that. So I'm going to give me some quick that's already together. I don't want to go through any kind of construction, nothing like that. Because one of my plans is to travel the world when I retire. So all I need is a home base. I already got the stick and brick property. I don't need that anymore. I'm over it. I'm over the mortgage. Have you ever sat down and assessed the word mortgage? Mortgage, mortician, mortuary. All that stuff means death. Mortgage, pay until death. I'm done with all that. If I can't get it paid for quick, I don't want it. But again, if you have land in your family, fight for that land, get the business in order. Unfortunately, I dropped the ball. And I'm saying I dropped the ball because once I found out about this land, I started moving towards getting paperwork and all of that together. But then siblings died before they were able to sign it over to my mother. So I just want y'all to keep me in your prayers, me and these projects. Keep me in your prayers. This stuff is not cheap, especially when you're doing it alone. So my plan is to once the next step is gonna be getting the land cleared. I've already received a quote. They told me anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000 to clear the land. So y'all just keep watching out, keep supporting me, and look for my micro farm coming soon. Just like the food truck coming soon. Good night. This land is your land.